Greetings all, welcome to another session here of Tuzi Talks. Today we're going to be looking at Google Docs and some of the advantages that are inherent in online web-based web-based office suites. In the past you may have been using things like OpenOffice or Microsoft Office, but you don't need to use those anymore. You don't need to give your money away to proprietary systems, and you'll also have a number of advantages to using systems like Google Docs. Now, to be honest, Google Docs isn't the only one out there. There are actually others out there that I prefer more, like Zoho Docs. But for today, we're just going to be looking a little bit into Google Docs and say what they're like. Also look at some of the advantages and disadvantages of web-based office systems. Okay, so let's just jump right in here to this first topic here, which are what are some of the advantages and disadvantages of cloud computing. Now, when someone talks about cloud computing, basically all they're talking about is a system that is no longer part of your computer hard drive. In the past, your computer was the housing for all of your applications. So your word processor, your mail program, were all sitting on your computer. And you had to go to your hard drive, activate that program in order to make it work. Well, nowadays, they have computer programs that are sitting on the internet. And so you just go out to the internet and you find that application, and then you activate that application, and you can do word processing. You can do spreadsheets or presentation files. All of those you can do directly from the web through your browser. And so that's one of the nice things about it, is that provided you have internet connection, you can go and do these applications. They are free for the most part. There are some systems out there that are proprietary. You have to pay to use them. But many of the systems out there are free. So is Google Docs. You can create these documents and leave them out there on the internet. Then you can go get them anytime you need them. So, for example, when I do presentations at conferences or for training, oftentimes I'll make the presentation in a Google presentation file, then access it whenever I need it, depending on where I am. So I don't use Microsoft PowerPoint. I don't save it on a hard drive. I don't have it on a stick, so I can use it anytime I want. Okay? One of the great advantages. Other advantages, these are big advantages, things that we haven't had before when we were in a standalone PC-only, computer-only type of system, and that's sharing. Collaborative sharing is a great feature for these web-based tools. I can be working on a document, and I have a friend who is in Tanzania, and he's working on the document at the same time that I am. And I can see him type and add, and he can see me type and add. So we can have multiple people sharing a document, building a document at the same time. Also means, and this is not in here, also means that when I go to share a document, I don't actually have to email that document to some user. The problem that you have with that is that when you mail that document to somebody, if they revise it, now they have to mail it back to you. If there's 10 people involved, now they have to mail it back to 10 people. And if 10 people are making revisions to this document, you can see where you're going to have copies after copies after copies inside your email and which one's the most up to date. Well, with collaborative work, sharing online, you're not going to have that problem. You simply email them a link to the file. They now go to the file, and if you've shared that with them, they can upload it, they can view it, they can print it out. Additionally, there's something called revision history. Another great advantage. Now, you've seen revision history in programs like OpenOffice or Microsoft Word. And what happens is that you can go undo 100 times or redo 100 times, but that's within that one document. With revision history, I can go back to 100 different permutations of this particular document, but it's not just my changes, it's anybody's changes. I was working with a friend of mine in Japan once, and we were working on editing a document that we wanted to get published. And I was making all my changes right there on the screen. My friend was not too familiar with Google Docs at the time. He made all of his changes in a Word document, and then he cut and pasted it into the browser. Okay, now what that means was that all my changes were lost, because he had gone in and just done a block copy and paste, and all the changes that I had made to the original document were now lost. So I go back in and I'm like, what did he do? Well, I could use revision history to go to before the cut and paste that he did, and then I could see all my stuff. I could also compare between the version that he did and the version right before it. I could do a comparison, find out where the differences were, and then fix the document. Revision history, wonderful tool. I can also do publishing. I can put a document online and make it public for anybody to see. I can then take a link and share that link with anybody who wants to see it. So I can do publishing online. Those are some of the great advantages that Google Docs and other web-based Office systems provide for us as users. Some of the dangers, one is security. And there are dangers to these, okay? One is security. And I have already read at least twice where Google's security system had a flaw in it, and it allowed people to view documents that you had private or semi-private. And so there's a security problem. If you are dealing with something that's on your own computer, then the only security issues are the ones that you create. If you put your stuff out there on the web, then there are security issues that other people also have to worry about. There's also the issue of ownership. I do know that in places like Facebook, you've basically given up your rights to have complete control over all your material. I know that with some systems, email systems, that when you put your mail on the web, you give them rights to scan your mail. Not for personal information, but for advertising information. So there are a number of things that you will give up because you're putting things online. Now, I don't believe Google is going to claim ownership over any work that you create, but it is sitting out there, right? The security issue to me is a bigger thing. The last element is that there's an internet requirement. You create a presentation, you make it ready for your, the presentation that you're going to do, and all of a sudden you're in a location where the internet is unavailable. Now you don't have a presentation. Now you need to put it on a stick so that you can use it in wherever you're going, the venue that you're going to be in. So the internet is now a requirement. For some places in the world, that's not an issue. You'll always have the internet access, therefore you can always access it. For other places, the internet is less accessible, and so you'd want to have it on a stick. There are also places in the world where certain websites are unavailable. They are shut down by the governments, and so you may not be able to access them. I was recently in another country this past year, and I couldn't see things that were on YouTube, like this video, which is going to be sitting on YouTube. I couldn't get to it because YouTube was shut off from that particular country. So there are internet requirements. There's definitely a security issue, and then there are some questions regarding ownership, not with all areas, but with some areas. That being said, I think using applications like Google Docs or Zoho Docs is a tremendous advantage, especially in the realm of education and business. Without any further ado, I'd like to go over to some of the things that are available in Google Docs. In Google Docs, you can create a Word type of document. They call it a document. You can create a presentation file, a spreadsheet. You can do some forms, basically used for like a survey. You create a survey in some kind of a form. You mail that out to everybody who you want to fill the form out. They fill it out, and it comes back to you as a filled out spreadsheet. And then you can use that data to do whatever analysis you want it to do. You can also do drawing, and you can also create folders of information. Okay, and so those are all the things you can do right on the web. In addition, of course, you can do sharing, you can do revision history, and you can do publishing with all of these things. So let's jump over to the web and see what that looks like. So here is I just logged into Google, and when you log in, right, if you look for this word right here, which is Drive. If it's not here, you should be able to find it under More. You should be able to see under here Drive or Documents. depending on the permutation of Google that you're using. If you click on Drive, you'll come to a window that looks kind of like this. First time you do this, of course, you won't have any data here, you won't have any data here. These are things that I've created as I went along. Okay, and this is my list of files, and these are my list of folders. And in here, I can add more files and more folders. How do you do this? One way is to create. All right, and so I can just sit right here and click on the Create button, and these are the types of documents that I can create. I can create document, presentation, spreadsheet, folders, right, and more. Right? There are some that are out there. Let's go real quick look at document. Okay, this is what a standard document looks like. And you'll note there are some similarities to things that you have seen in the past. You have, for example, a file menu system. You've got a menuing system sitting here with all these different menus that you can look at, right? Each of these contain a variety of things that you've probably seen before, right? So under Edit, for example, you've got, undo, redo, cut, copy, paste. You've seen all these before, and you've seen the shortcuts that go with them, right? So that's similar. You've got other things in here as well. You can show your ruler or not show the ruler, right? You can do inserts. You can do formatting. Many of these features are very similar. And so I can do things. You can see that I can center things, and I can bold things, and change the font, and change the color, and I can play with all these things. Okay, now I want to go left justified and change the color back to black and reduce the font size to a smaller number. All right. And so you can see that I have many of the same features that I would have normally working. You'll note right here you're going to see, oh, something has changed or something hasn't changed. It's already saved. It's funny, you look over here, there is no save button. There is no Save As button because as you type, all the changes are being made. This is a... You see it changing? It says it's saving, right? You can turn on the spell checker as well to find errors that you may have. You can insert a hyperlink. Notice that it gives you a little pop-up as you work. You can have the control key is there, the quick key is there, and you can insert an image and auto numbers, auto bullets. You can do indenting. Anything on most of the features that are in Microsoft Office or OpenOffice you can do here. It's definitely not as robust, but it does most of the features that you wanted to do, you can do. Okay, you can also download as, or what they would call save as. You can save this as a Word document. Work on it later. You can save it as an open document format, which would basically be OpenOffice and any of its progeny. You can save it as a PDF, as an RTF, or as a web page. So you can publish on the web. You can email collaborators. These are things that are different. Here's your revision history. You can see the changes that were made. Okay, there's also this share button, which we'll talk about in just a minute. There's a word count. Okay, you can translate the document if you trust the translation software. Okay, and these are all the things that you can do here. So you can write a document here with 4 or 5 other people, and when you want to do the finalizing of the formatting because you need to print it out, you can send it to another document if you so desire. You can put in headers and footers in this document. Where are they? You can put in footnotes, headers and footers. There are the tools that are here are all the tools or most of the tools that you would need that come from a standard word processor. But you don't need the word processor anymore. You can get rid of it. Okay? Let's take a quick look also at share. With the share button, what can it do? When you click on share, you're going to get this window popping up here. And this will allow you to share the document. Okay? First of all, it's currently private. Only I can see it. I can change this to be semi-private or public. Okay? If I make it semi-private, it means that anybody who has this link can watch it. Okay? I can add other people to this list. Let's see here. Who do I want to add? I don't know. Oh, that was a mistake. Add people. You can add me, for example. And you can change what my options are. I can edit or comment or view. Okay? So if you don't want anybody to mess with anything, you make it view. If you want them to be a post comments, you make that comment. If you actually want them to be able to make edits in it, you can do that. You can also choose from contacts. Okay, when you're done, you press share, and then a message gets sent to them, and they can then access this. And you'll see little colors that'll pop up here, a variety of people, little squares that'll show you, oh, this person is doing this and that person is doing that. And you can literally see in real time people modifying the document. So it's a great little tool to have. For a presentation file, not a presentation, yeah, we can look at a presentation file. For a presentation file, we can look at a document that looks something like this. And this one, well, this one doesn't have any color in it, so let's go find something else. This one, I believe, is one that I made changes to. There we go. And so this is what a presentation file looks like. I have text that I can modify, just like on a regular system. I have, so I can add these boxes. Again, I have all the similar type buttons that are up here. I can add pictures, I can add links, I can add shapes, just like a regular presentation file. Okay, I can share this, I can have multiple people working on this, I can run the presentation. Literally run it from the web. Literally run it from the browser. I'm using a browser right now, that's all I'm doing here. And so I can just run all this right from the browser. In fact, let's just run this presentation. Okay, and it's popped up here. And so now I can just go through the presentation like I'm doing. Hey, I'm just doing a presentation type of thing. Okay? And that's how the presentation program works. There's also a spreadsheet program. Okay, and the spreadsheet looks like this. So again, I can put in information here. I can put in a formula here, right? I can equals, you know, 24 plus 56, and it'll give me that particular formula. I can do regular, you know, formulas like sum, and have it sum a particular group of cells, and it'll save those cells, right? It's automatically going to change. So I can use this as a regular spreadsheet, and all the standard formulas are going to be here, only it's on the web. Notice that I have sheets, and I can add multiple sheets. So again, this is no different than something like OpenOffice's Calc or Microsoft's Excel. The majority of the features that people use are available here. Some of the more advanced features aren't necessarily here, but for most people, they're not going to be using those, so it's no big deal. And again, you can share this. So those are just some of the things that you can do here. Oh, you can also create folders. So I want to make a new folder. I can make folders, and I can store things in my folders. And I can share folders. I can share a whole folder with somebody. So this is a whole new world of Web 2.0 because it allows you to do all of the word process, all of the Office system stuff that you used to do on your one computer, you can now do on the web. This means that things like, oh, I can't access that document because it's on a computer at work or it's on my computer at home. I don't have to worry about that. I can literally do it all right here from the web. And so no matter where I am, provided I have internet access, I can access and do all of these things. Now, the other interesting thing is now that tablets are becoming the rave. The nice thing about tablets is that they're small and portable and have a strong network connection. The downside is that their hard drive is not particularly large. But if I have access to a cloud system, I can do a lot of things. I can actually go to the web, open up this particular application, because it's on the web, do my word processing, do my spreadsheets, presentations, and then close it up. It's done. Okay, it's all sitting there. So some of the advantages to tech work. Okay, so again, just to show you that there are some advantages and disadvantages involved with web-based learning, but there are so many nice things that you can get. And Google Docs is just one of the things that I showed you. That's all for now. I'm glad to have a nice little talk with you.